So there's nothing you bring to me now. If I don't understand the value chain, like the food, what does it? If I would do it to be 10%,
You take minimal risk.
I take
affordable risk.
So I have a benchmark. If you told me to do something that I don't understand, come and do this thing. It was that failure that kept that benchmark in me. It wasn't someone preached to me. So if I had not gone through that, so when we started building, I started doing certain businesses, I looked at the business. If I would ever do this business, I need to understand the end to end.
From sourcing to market.
I need to understand the end to end. Don't tell me if I don't understand it's not I need to understand everything, but I need to understand a bit of it. Like this is the beginning, this is sourcing, this is procurement, this is planning, this is execution, this is sales. I want to understand everything that happens within that value chain. And how did I get to that point? Was I burnt my hands.
This is the Manspiration Show with Abel Olumide.
Hello. I'm so excited today on this show, the Manspiration Show, where we inspire men to success and where we encourage men to look at the lives of other successful men and learn from them. So today is a great honor to have a dear friend in the house today. I call him the senator because he's so much passionate about good governance. Yeah. His name is Olatunde Badmus. This man is loaded. There's a lot to him, so many sides. He's a professional and he's risen to a very high position in his profession before he decided to go fully to start his real estate business. So I'm going to let him say a little more about it. So the floor is yours. Tell us more about you. How are you doing these things?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. I would say, I believe that humans can wear many hats at the same time, and also excel at what they do. Because you see, there's this narrative over the time that people believe. For example, let's say I'm a software engineer. Anything I have to do must be in line of software engineer. There are instances with a software engineer, and the inspiration that is coming to you, it's telling you to go start up a manufacturing firm in China. If you cut that thing, you're going to debar yourself. When we take the life of Jeff Bezos, for example, it didn't start with AWS. They started with selling books. And after some time, I believe the inspiration of AWS would come. That AWS, from AWS, they are now in TV, they are in everywhere. So that man is wearing so many hats, and they are
being able to reevaluate, pivot when you need to pivot and all.
Yeah, so to me, I'm of this perspective that as long as you have inspiration about things and you have your heart is good about it, just go for it. Just go for it.
Okay, so I think that will bring us to looking at your journey here. As an immigrant. You came in here some years ago, and you're already winning. And I just, from what you said, when you have passion for something, you just take the step. And I've seen you doing that a lot, both in your career. Tell us a little bit about your career journey in the US when you came, and probably some of the things you've heard before you got here that you can now look back and say, hey, that's not true, because you've seen it differently. You're a man of faith too. You bring God into what you do, and you've seen things working differently for you. How is that?
I would say when I was coming to the US, I remember someone called me, and when I was in the US, I'm like, where are you? I said, I'm in the library. That time he called again because I was in school. Why are you in the library? I told me, no, you should be hustling. Like, how much are they paying you? You should be hustling. There's this ideology that when you travel to the Western world, also do so many things at the same time. But you see, I think what people don't understand is, I tell you that whenever you get into an environment, understand the dynamics of that environment. You see, United States is a capitalist economy. And the capitalist economy, people that makes it in the capitalist economy is not just by struggling, it's by some mental labor. There's a level of, I call it intellectual labor that comes to play. It is not by the number of jobs you do, I tell people, but it's in the quality of the jobs you do. You see, when we go by the number of jobs you do, let's say you're working so many jobs. When you work so many jobs, you get so money. by default, to get to a tax bracket, when they tax that thing from you, a good number of that money has been taken by tax. You pay a lot of bills. Then people come back to the and say, I'm doing so many jobs. I'm paying so many bills. At the end of the day, things are not adding up. I tell them this is a capitalist economy. And sometimes people need to understand how it works. And I think the first thing is trying to understand yourself. Let's say the job you are doing, you are not. Ask yourself, like, what are the certifications I need
Being
to do?
strategic.
Yeah.
Instead of just going everywhere.
No, yeah. What are the certifications I need to do? Do I need to go back to school? Because the whole idea, I usually tell people that in whatever you want to do, try in this kind of place, make sure you are the best.
Yeah.
You want to work, find every way to ensure you rise to the peak of what you are doing. It gives you the flexibility to do many things. And the other thing I double like in this kind of economy, try. If you have your papers, get your company registered. Start up a company, start up a business. I know everybody starts from, we all have a point where we started. There was a certain time when we came out of school. I was a student in school. I was washing dishes. Those were actually the processes, but we don't have to remain there. So I tell people, in an economy like this, please ask questions and ask yourself, how can I do better than where I was?
What I'm already doing.
Ask yourself better. Like,
so how did you transition from washing dishes in school to becoming a leader in tech in one of the most popular companies in the world? You were with Walmart at some point.
Yes.
And then Oracle, and and you rose to leadership positions. So coming from Nigeria, becoming, and you're an immigrant. You went to school. You were washing dishes. How did you do that? How did you, within a short time, how did you rise to that position?
Okay, I would say there are two things. The first thing is having a compelling vision. And the other thing is, there's this adage they said necessity is the mother of invention. You see, when you get to a point that you don't have any options, you would have to make do with what you have. Like, you just have to. For example, when I came to the US, 90% of the money they gave me from home, it was my siblings that contributed it. And I remember my elder sister told me, my elder sister told me, school fees. When I told that, he said, that means indirectly, they are telling you that we've tried for the money we've given you, your flight ticket, your visa, but as for your school. And I remember when I was on the plane and rode from Lagos to Istanbul, and I made up my mind. I would never call anybody back home for money. If I call anybody back home, it will be for courtesy. It's going to be a courtesy call. Because I know they can't. They won't be able to give me that money. So the first time I come into US, I think the first week, from that day, what are the things? What are the opportunities? Where are the scholarships? Where are the jobs? So from that first week,
looking back, wasn't an option.
It wasn't there was no option. So I knew that, I asked myself, okay, if I'm not asking money from any other body, what am I going to do? From the first week, I began, different scholarships.
So would you say having an alternative sometimes is an obstacle?
You see, definitely. Sometimes when you have too many alternatives, you begin to have this view that, okay, if A doesn't work, B will work. If B doesn't work,
so what happened to having a plan B? Because I've heard people say, well, if I do it, if it doesn't work.
Okay, let me tell you, see, having a plan B is also being in a situation where your plan B would work. There are certain situations that plan B would not work.
There's no plan.
You understand? So, like, for example, when I was coming, I knew that what is the plan B? Like, maybe call them at home, pressure them, beg them. That would be the plan B, but it don't work. So I only had one plan A. And that plan A now had options, how do we start applying for scholarships? How do we start going for so many things? And I thought it all paid off, because it was from then I got NSB scholarship, I got CMCF scholarship, I got graduate student scholarship. It wasn't that I was that smart. It wasn't that so. But because I knew that, nobody's going to give me money back.
I know you're a man that has a lot of passion. You're the type that is so confident about what you carry. A lot of people, we were in school together. A lot of people who have as much skill and knowledge as you have, they don't have as much passion as you have. And I think that is one of the things that really stand you out. So when you get to a point where you in a new environment.
Yeah.
How do you keep that passion going? You got all this scholarship. I'm sure you're talking to the right people. You're there.
Yeah.
You went to these conferences. How did you keep it going? Even when it was looking like, man, things are tough. You know?
So there's this adage by, what's it called? I think it's by Benjamin Disraeli. He said, "He that is running the great race of life from behind must run twice as fast than any other person." So
Say it again.
he that is running the great race of life from behind must run twice as fast as anybody. Coming in as an immigrant, I knew that, see, I have to double my race because, number one, I don't have a green card when I came. As an international student, there are a lot of restrictions. So if someone that has a green card would go for party, I won't go for party. You understand? Because, on your stuff, you only have 2 years. So within that 2 years, things must work. You understand? So I knew. So when I came, it wasn't that I needed any motivation. Looking at my I-20, I said I only have 2 years.
I-20 was a big motivation.
I don't need motivation. And because I know that, this thing must work. This thing would have to work. And I'll say there's also this part of faith and believing in God that we can't take out of the equation of success. And one thing I've seen, people travel into a new country and say, you don't need God again,
Because
all the prayers we are praying in Nigeria.
they feel their problems are solved.
No, those things are mirage. Those things are mirage. Because the more you ascend into height, you find out that there's a need for God. You need more. In fact, we need God the more. We need God the more. We need God the more. And I would also say, you're asking a question about how I was able to, within a very short period of time, get to decide. And I will give you an example. In the spring of 2018, where, it's time for, we all will go for internship. And just like any other, but everybody wants to get an internship before you get a full time. So I was also trying to get an internship. I think before that time, I was waiting on the Lord in the place of prayers and fasting for like weeks or months before then. I just knew that internship would not work. I knew. Somehow then my church told me we need to go to Nigeria. I said I won't go. But the more I struggled, the more I knew that the Holy Spirit wanted me to go. I said, okay, I'll go. To cap it up, my wife was 7 months pregnant. And it's not that we are going to Lagos. We are going to Jos, inside Jos, for go and give people food.
Monetary.
So I had all the reasons not to go. But anytime I sit down, I knew the Holy Spirit wanted me to go. I just told my wife, you know what? I knew when God is talking to me. You know what? I just want us to agree, I'll go. When I was going, I had many calls. And I'm like, God, why would I even what I needed is job, internship, money. It's not telling me to be going to. But we went there, we're giving food, we did everything. And I had an encounter that really changed my life. When we were giving food, there was a very elderly woman, maybe like 90 years or so. We went to we're just going there and I gave her soup. And she held my hand. He said, where am I? You said, what am I? I said, we are from USA. We are from US to give her food. Yes, she held I don't know what she was saying. The woman was praying for me. And she was kind. She held my hand. She was praying. She was kind. He said, we came from here to give her a elderly woman. She was even about dying. She held my hand, prayed. Prayed. When I left there, I just
things are seeds.
I knew that this is the reason God wanted me to come. Sir, when I came back from US, most of the things I prayed for,
you just started coming.
The first job interview I went for, I got that job on the spot. The second job interview I went for, the career job was done. I was coming down from a step. I said, someone, we talked up. I got the verbal offer. 2 weeks. It wasn't that.
That's amazing.
I got the verbal offer.
So
2 weeks later,
what did you have missed listening to what the Holy Spirit was telling you?
You see.
And you just feel, and this is the part I pray for the more. Because we don't know much. God knows the future. Now, if we miss healing at that point, it's as though you are just struggling on your own.
I would say there are 2 things that apply to that thing. And one of the things is, Bible says, do not be conformed to the world. And the conformity of the world means, see, let me give an instance. There could be sometimes you are praying for something. You think this is the way, but God is telling you something different. We have to submit that will to God, because naturally in my mind, I would never have thought to go. I came to US 2017 and 2018. I should be going to. Naturally speaking, my mind would never have picked it. So that is why, when we hear God, let's.
And I think another thing is that when you were coming, you didn't come with a mindset of I'm escaping.
No.
Because I know since you came, you've done many other things in Nigeria, back in Africa, giving to the poor, and even setting up your foundation, the PinkFood Foundation.
Yeah.
I heard about a lady recently who was coming for a conference.
Yeah.
And I learned, I don't know if my part of the story, maybe trade fair, maybe my part of the story is correct, but I learned she came and when she got to the point of entry, she was sent back because they found an indication that she's been telling people, hey, I'm here, I'm done, I'm not coming back, something like that.
Yep.
So you heard about the story?
Yes, I heard about it, but I think I didn't hear much, but I heard about it. I would really just say, when people are coming to the Western world, try as much as possible to dot your T's and cross your I's.
I don't see it as like I'm going to heaven.
No. America is good. That is fine.
America is not heaven.
It's not heaven. Someone said something that he said when you are traveling to outside, maybe Western world, and it was referencing China and India. Let us come with an ownership mentality, with a dominion. An ownership mentality is like you are coming and say, you know what, in any way we are, we're gonna, we are going to dominate. We are going to dominate. You are not coming because you are running away from your country. And if you observe, like the Indians and the Chinas, they are here, they do well, they go back. Some of the biggest startups in India, they were founded by Indians that came to the US, they got money, and they went back to their country and started big startups. And I tell you, that is how we're going to change the narrative of Africa and the country. It's not just people running. Yeah, it is good to come, get exposure, get exposure, get money. But the question is how do you change people? How do you help? And that was even why we started like PinkFood Bank. We started after a while, I started working. One I just said,
it's a great work.
I just told myself, like, so I'm earning this money, pay me 6 digits, fine. So the question is, am I going to spend this money on myself?
On yourself alone.
And I said, no. That thing never sits well with me. For like 6 years we've been running it. I think 90 or 80% of that money comes from my family pockets.
Wow.
And
you're just like through the platform, the organization, you're just helping people.
It's just
feeding them.
Yeah. And really, I would say I've been in situations where there was a time I lost my job. It was my elder sister that was giving me 10,000 naira every month. Yeah. I was already done with school. I had SAP certification. I was among the few people that had SAP certification in West Africa. There are very few of us that had that certification. With that certification, I was out of job. I was told to pay my house rent. But there was a day I prayed and I said, God, if you would help me and turn this tide around, I would also make sure I give back to people that would be in that situation. So when I started working, I started earning money. I said, you know what? Before I start doing business, I want to make commitment to this thing. That was how we started PinkFood Bank. We started giving to people. And I will tell you, there's also a spiritual side to it. So the Bible says, he that giveth to the poor will not be left to the will of his enemy. And if you are truly helping you from your mind, forget it, doors will open.
God comes true for you.
God does open. Doors will open. It's like mercy. If you show mercy to people, somehow, you will get to a point where the doors are closed. But because of the prayer someone is praying. We have done projects that the women called us, they were kind, they said they wanted to talk to. I said, well, they called me 5, I was here 5 a.m. He said, please, we need to talk to the person doing that. I said, I don't. So the woman insisted, and the woman was kind, said, the money he said the gallon of oil we gave them, say she used that thing to start a business. And that business, they have been making money, and she has been able to, their children, they've been sent from school. But because of that business, they've been able to make money, and they are sending back their children to school. How much do we do? We do a project, we give them 100,000 naira for Women Empowerment Fund. She said she must talk to me, and she was praying.
That's amazing. You've changed somebody's.
You know,
So if you had thought of it as I've escaped and done,
you won't do
you
that.
think about giving back to where
You
you're
won't even do that because you're just gonna feel it's all about me. Now you have a job, you got a 6-digit job. Now you can buy it in dollars. Yeah. Some of the list of the job I've gotten is 6 digits in dollars. Thank God for it. But you get to a point where I see life goes beyond me, myself, and I. It goes beyond me, myself, and I.
Talking about, business.
Yeah.
You got to a point where you started your business here.
Yep.
The real estate business.
Sure.
And I'm sure you also have some other
We have a consultant.
Yeah. So what gave you the confidence to think you can you can do it? How were you not so? I'm sure you've met a lot of people who are around you, maybe who have been here before you, and they tell you, man, you're doing too much.
Let me just say something. You see, if I really want to venture into things, sometimes I take months praying and hearing what God wants to say. And whenever God gives the green light, forget what anyone say.
Same.
I'll give you an example. When we're to start our first construction, we're to partner with someone to build a project. And the cost of each building costs around $400,000. 4 of those buildings the revenue would be around 4 times 6. That's $1.6 million. And I'm to take like 2 units. That means all of the money I'll put there will be all of my money at home and at abroad. I had concern. But I was waiting in the Lord. I was waiting on the Lord for a long period of time. And one evening, I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, the coast is clear, you can move.
Hey.
I told my wife, you know what? Coast is clear, we can move.
Time to go.
I called the builder, guy,
let's do it.
Get the land, let's go. The guy said, dude, no. I said, get this land, let's go. He now called me later. I said, yeah. He said, boy, I said, forget it. We are starting building. He said, what about? I said, see. I said, guy, I've heard. I don't need your faith. I don't need you. I've heard this thing. I said, the coast is clear. Let us go. I said, let's go. I was like, when we're done, the guy now is late. His brother called me, said, have you done this kind of thing in the US before? I said, no. He said, because before you start building, you start as maybe a realtor.
Before you
start flipping. And then you don't just jump to build, because it's capital intensive with the rule. You know that? It is capital intensive. But I just got to the point, I knew that, yeah, there were risks, there were calculated risks, but I think the major thing was I knew the Spirit of God wanted me to go. And when it was time to go fully into it, I had my fears. But months before the time I said I'm going, months had,
you've already said it. But does that have to do with you being... I've heard a lot of people saying Nigerians are crazy risk takers.
Yeah.
They take a lot of risk. They just, and because of that, a lot of Nigerians are successful.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with you taking that bold step to start your business?
Okay, yeah, I would say there's that part of Nigeria. Average Nigeria is always on the move, but there are also many people taking risks in the US, like people in China, people in different people. But like I would always say, they hire the risks, they hire the returns. And they hire the risks, also they hire the fall. So it is good to take calculated risks. Like you have to sit down, you take calculated risks, but also I tell people, don't overanalyze things that you don't get to take risks. Because somehow everybody will take risks in one way or the other.
One way or the other. Not taking risks is
a big risk. That's little money you have and something is whispering to you, why not try? I don't want to tie into this business. And you keep the money in the bank and something happens, that money is gone.
It's gone.
So somehow I just need to tell people, take calculated risks. And I feel what would also help people is that, when you work with the wise, naturally it rubs off on you. Work with people that are doing things that you want to do. Stay within that conversation. There's this part of the Bible, he said, he said he's not a prophet, but by him being in the company of prophets, he began to prophesy. So there are certain things that will rub off on you when you begin to talk to some people. So before I even ventured into business, I had people that are doing extremely well. Sometimes I just go to listen to them. Hey, if someone is talking, oh, we are doing this thing 4 million. I mean, 4 million. Over time, it rubs off on you. You just feel that, you know what?
So you keep hearing it and you
Yeah.
put yourself among.
Yeah.
So, have you experienced failure in some of this business effort that you are making? And what did you do? Because some people, that's the end. Once something doesn't work the way they're planning, they just it's closed doors. Even if God is saying, "All right, it's time to try again,"
Yeah.
you've stayed too long on this side of the mountain, like I said to the Israelite. It's time to move, and you say, "God, hey, the last time I moved, I fell. I don't go again." So, how have you handled a situation like that? You just got your fingers burned, and how did you come up?
Okay. I will start with this. You see, it's not the load that kills the camel. It's never the load. It's how the camel is carrying the load that kills him. So sometimes it's not the problem that kills people, but it's their perspective about the issues of life that actually kills them. And I'll give you an example. There was a time when cryptocurrency, we're doing crypto. At the time, I almost said maybe $8,000 in it.
I lost some money too.
And I remember one evening when the thing crashed, I think within 1 week I lost almost $50,000. My mind was shaking that. I mean, what end? But you see, I had to go back to the drawing board. And you see, the thing people don't know is that, you see, success is not the opposite. Failure is not the opposite of success. People always think that when they fail, no, failure is not the opposite of success. You see, failure is also a path. Go and have
a pathway to success.
You see, honestly, I think that, you see, people should read more. People should read more about biographies of successful people. Then they will come to understand that some of the people you see top there, there is nobody I can bet you in this world
that have not failed many times.
Has not failed many times.
Yeah.
And you see, what that failure helps you do is sometimes it gives you an indication. You see, the mistake I made from cryptocurrency, it has helped me when doing business. And one of the things that helped me is that don't ever do a business that you don't understand the full value chain. So there's nothing you bring to me now. If I don't understand the value chain, like the full, what does it? If I would do it to be 10%.
You take minimal risk.
I take
affordable risk.
So I have a benchmark. If you told me to do something that I don't understand, come and do this thing. It was that failure that kept that benchmark in me. It wasn't motivated. It wasn't someone preached to me. So if I had not gone through that, so when we started building and we started doing certain businesses, I looked at the business. If I would ever do this business, I need to understand the end to end.
From sourcing to market.
I need to understand the end to end. Don't tell me if I don't understand it's not that I need to understand everything, but I need to understand a bit of it. Like this is the beginning, this is sourcing, this is procurement, this is planning, this is execution, this is sales. I want to understand everything that happens within that value chain. And how did I get to that point? Was I burnt my hands. Imagine if I'd stopped then. So we just need to. I think the whole thing is people should just understand. You see, failure is not the opposite of success. It's just a part to it.
Wow. So, just to wrap things up, it's been so inspiring listening to you. Looking at your journey, how you came, and in the next few years, let's say in the next 5 years, as people commonly ask, where do you see Exile Homes in the next 5 years? And even you yourself, where do you think God is leading you?
Yeah, I would say for what we are doing, we see ourselves as a global brand, having footprints in many nations of the world, and also I think the whole stuff about the real estate is not just to make money; it's to build a community where homes are affordable, where people can have affordable and decent homes, and we already have the vision and it's in process. Because if I would add to that, I think you see achieving goals is not rocket science, and I'll give you an example. I think it was in 2018 when I got my job before I went to my first job, which is Walmart. Whenever we go, there's a particular street we go to. We see a lot of houses. They're beautiful houses. And I remember that every time I see these houses. So there was a day I told my wife, you know what, we don't have the money to buy this house, but let us keep going to those houses. So we go there, I have pictures of those houses. I kept them in my wall. There was a particular one I went to. Those guys, they have pool behind their house. They have yachts. I would go there. Sometimes I would just in my car. I'm not even going.
You just go to.
I want to capture this imagination
mental picture.
I wanted this thing to get into my head, and I have a picture. Like in my bedroom, I have those pictures. I put it there. Do you know something? The first home we bought, it was behind the lake. My first home was behind the lake. The second home we bought, it was close. It was my wife that told me that. Have you checked the pictures you have?
So
your bedroom.
The homes you're buying, they are aligning with the picture.
They look like.
It was my wife that told me that. Look at this picture we have. You know how the Bible says you should write the vision and make it plain. Make it plain.
That thing works. In fact, it works even for my car. When we're in Nigeria, the first car I saw, we're coming from church. We don't have the car then. I saw one white SUV. I told my wife that we're going to buy. If I have money, I'd like to buy an SUV. Then I was living in the Kodo. I put a picture of that white SUV there, and I had a scripture a scripture passage to it. I see it. I pray over it. When I came to the US, first car I bought, it was me and my friend, was a white SUV.
Yeah,
Hyundai.
that's amazing.
The second SUV we bought, it was white. It wasn't planned. It was when I went to my diary.
So there's something in there.
It wasn't planned. The first one we bought it in Texas, it was white. The second one we bought in Arkansas, it was white. Then I told my wife, let us change this picture. But I said, let us change this thing to something big. So it wasn't.
Wow.
It was never. So, there's always that point I tell people when you say you want to be somewhere, pray about it, have that picture. And that picture is like, these things are getting into your
subconscious.
See, the hardest part of success is not outside, it's in your mind. If it's the main part of the hardest part of success, it's not the fact that there's no job out there. It's not the fact that you don't have money. If it can settle in your heart that you are at a point, it's a function of time.
Wow.
Your subconscious mind would
navigate
it.
Itself.
Would navigate. It's just like a water in the path of a rock. There's nothing you do in this world that water would have its path. There's nothing. If you put the water in this place, there's no barrier. The water have a path.
When the correct mindset, correct vision is connected with your faith, then with hard work, with your motivation, then nobody can stop.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
I
don't feel like stopping this conversation. I really want to have you back here.
Yeah,
this has been awesome, man. Guys, you've been listening to Mr. Badmus Olatunde. I call him the senator because of his passion for good governance. One time, I'm still looking forward to seeing you.
We'll go there. I'll be there. I've been in politics. I used to be the president of my SUG, president of my
student union.
Yeah. So I've been here there, and I like
you being in a bigger way. A lot. You have a lot to offer, and I'm sure you're carrying the spirit of God and doing things the godly way. It's going to change many lives.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining the Manspiration Show. Today, we had Olatunde Badmus, and it's been a great time having conversation with him. And I hope you join us again soon. Thank you.
Bye
for now.
Bye.